I went to the hospital for a bloody nose, is what it was. My nose started bleeding and it wouldn't quit. And I went in and they was like, man, anybody ever told you got cirrhosis of the liver? And it's like advanced, bad, like to the point where you take one more drink of alcohol and you probably die.
Is there anything you want to add? Do you want to?
I like to give my testimony. If that's
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely. I was going to ask that. Yeah.
It's going to be hard to do without crying, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I said I got into some, rough life. I was a pretty bad alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like, worst case of cirrhosis of the liver, about the worst case they'd ever seen at UAMS in Little Rock at 29 years old.
29. Yeah.
I've always known God a little. I grew up in church.
Yep.
And I went to the hospital for a bloody nose, is what it was. My nose started bleeding and it wouldn't quit. And I went in and they was like, man, anybody ever told you got cirrhosis of the liver? And it's like advanced, bad, like to the point where you take one more drink of alcohol and you probably die. My grandma and them were there with me, and they were praying for me. She was my best prayer warrior my whole life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, ended up in the hospital there, and my buddy Dan's dad, he's a preacher. He was one of my running buddies when we were rough, and he straightened his life out. And he called me and asked me what I wanted to do. I said, I want to live, Joe.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you put your faith with mine and we'll believe that. And from that day forward, we prayed about it, prayed through there. And from that day forward, I had just peace about it.
Uh-huh.
Everybody, the doctors would come in like, man, we're going to do this. You're probably going to die. My mom, she'd run out of the room crying, and I'd just laugh.
It'd be okay.
Yeah, and it was just a peace. I'm like, I'm not going to die, y'all.
Yeah.
And that was July of 2013.
Yeah.
You had to be sober 6 months to be on the transplant list, the liver transplant list. Everything was failing. I was going into major organ failure, retaining water and stuff from the liver problems just got so bad. And it was January. My 6 months were up January 22nd. So I was in the hospital in Springfield, Missouri, and they sent me to Little Rock because that's where I had to have the transplant, at UAMS in Little Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're like, man, your 6 months date will be up here. We need to get you down there so they can get all the tests done. So as soon as your 6 months date is up, they can get you on the transplant list. So I was down there on the 22nd, like a few days before that, but my 6 month date rolled around January 22nd. February 13th, I had an emergency liver transplant. The insurance company, everything was shutting down. They were looking for a donor. When they needed to find one, there was 3 matches available, not just one.
Yeah.
They had 3 to choose from.
Wow.
To find a perfect one.
Uh-huh.
Insurance, everything was there to do it. Insurance wasn't going to pay for it.
Oh.
My grandma was sitting in the waiting room praying, and a lady came by, and she was, sorry, guys. She was, like medicine, something done, something not. But her, they start talking. She had a 30-year-old son. She knew somebody high up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Called this lady. My grandma's on the phone with her for a few minutes. Well, this lady has a 30-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that lady's friends with some guy that's in the government somewhere. I don't even know who this man was, but he had a 30-year-old son. My grandma ended up talking to him, and then miraculously he made a call, and the insurance company told the insurance company he had a personal interest in it.
Wow.
and would appreciate it if they would go ahead and push it through.
Absolutely.
So I passed out. I was on the table, and they told me, "Man, Richard, we got your liver." I was bleeding out like everywhere that they had drawn blood. My blood had got so filled with water and
Yeah.
everything from all the and he says, the doctor comes in, he's like, "Look, man," he's like, "we're going to get your liver." He said, "At the rate you're bleeding out and the stuff we got going," he said, 7 hours, man, max. We can keep you alive for 7 hours. He said, "and it's 5.5 hours to get there and back."
My gosh.
And I passed out. That was the last thing I heard. I passed out. I came to 2 days later, all sewed up, stapled up, sun shining through my window.
New day. New life.
It was all about the grace of God, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It was
Praise
just-
God.
It was just so amazing what he's done. And then, since then, I've got I'd go to church and I'd ask him, I was like, I want a better job, somebody to spend my life with. Now I have a good guide business, I have a wife, 3 little girls.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He's a great God.
He's a great
is.
God. Yeah. Your wife, when she came here, I told her that she could sit on the couch and watch. I tried to give her a remote. She said, I brought my Bible. I'm just going to read it. I was like, wow, that is awesome. You got a good wife. I can tell. That's amazing, Richard.
Sorry, guys, but
No.
I just
You're fine.
I've told my testimony at church, and everybody around town knows.
Yeah.
But God can sober you up. They talk about the programs, and if that's what it takes for you, by all means, use your program.
Yeah.
But there's a better way.
Mm-hmm.
You can be delivered. You don't have to. You have a step to fall back down.
No steps.
No,
That's right.
you don't have to. I have no desire for alcohol.
Yeah.
It's delivered. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry. He's a good God. It's just super.
How many years sober now?
12, 2013.
Wow.
It's July 22nd of 2013
Wow.
That's
is the last drink I had. Drank a half a pint of vodka and about a swallow and a half,
Yeah.
just to keep from having the DTs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a good life.
No. So if there's anybody out there listening, man, they can do it.
You can, man. It's amazing. You don't have. I have more fun, and I don't wake up feeling miserable.
I've heard that so much.
And you don't have to do it alone. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.